Joining us again. It is 9:30 on Thursday, May 22nd. I feel the need to first apologize for last week and the mix-up in the times, but moving forward, as they always have been, the webinars will be every Thursday at 9:30. And again, I'll continue to run these as long as we continue to have things to talk about. So we have a pretty full agenda today, and I'll get started. As always, the webinars are recorded, and you can go to our homepage. To the right-hand side, there's a YouTube icon, and you can pull up all of the webinars, the PPACA webinars from the past, as well as any other webinar that goes on at URL. You know, Steve's life insurance webinars, Joe's annuities, and Christy's webinars on some of the ancillary products. So I thought it was important to at least bring you up to date to start with the grandmothered groups and who is doing what. So let me, my screen will, there we go. This is the information that I have now. Easy, right? Easy to understand and follow for everyone out there in the field trying to inform their clients. But the grandmothered groups, this is the information that I have right now. Highmark and Western Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, starting with 7/1 renewal dates through 12/1 renewal dates, will be offering grandmothering of their plans, which means that upon renewal, your groups will receive a non-ACA renewal option on the plan that they have. They can also choose within their family of plans the non-ACA plan, and they'll also receive an ACA option. So that's Highmark. Capital release that starting with 6/1 renewal dates through 12/1 that they will be offering grandmothering. That's the same as Geisinger. NEPA, they approved 5/1, 6/1, and 7/1 renewals for grandmothering. 8/1 through 12/1, actually through 1/1, it's still up in the air. Many of you had NEPA groups that renewed, and if they renewed 12/1 of 2013 on a non-ACA plan, they actually have a 13-month renewal or contract year, so their renewals actually aren't even going to take place until 1/1 of 15. So again, starting with 8/1 effective dates, renewal dates, excuse me, we still don't know what's going to happen with the NEPA groups. Health America, 7/1 to 12/1. Independence Blue Cross, my contacts tell me that they've received nothing on grandmothering. So if anyone out there hears anything, please let me know. I'd be happy to include that in the information in my newsletter or in the webinars if I can get that information. Aetna Group, they are renewing 7/1 to 12/1, and then for July, they're grandmothering for groups starting with 7/1 to 12/1 renewal dates. The July and August 7/1 and 8/1 renewal dates will actually have an ongoing renewal date now of 9/1. So, yeah, not confusing enough for everybody. They're throwing that into the mix. And UPMC, they started with a grandmothering back on 4/1 and will go through 12/1. So that's what we have right now. The next bullet point is the Cobra. And I really do see this as your next opportunity to really gather some new clients. And if you're not talking to groups, these are where your opportunities will lie. And if you're talking to a group about what their options are, whether you're reaching out to them about their grandmothering provisions or a brand new group that hasn't had group coverage, or a group that is just wondering what the heck they can do and how they can, you know, survive, if you will, throughout the next several years, you can talk to them about the new option of any employee that they have that's, or former employee, excuse me, that's currently on Cobra, the opportunity for those persons to voluntarily waive off of their Cobra and go through the FFM for individual coverage with or without subsidies is now in effect until 7/1 effective date. So you do have an opportunity to reach out to anyone that you know is on Cobra, and if they want to waive that Cobra coverage and go on to individual coverage, they have the opportunity to do that. It's another extension of the never-ending enrollment period. We've talked a little bit in the past couple of weeks about ERISA and what that really means for your groups. And there's the ERISA has been in place since I believe '74, and there's always been a requirement for the groups to have summary of plan descriptions, not to be confused with summary of benefit coverage, and it was just never enforced. Back in December of 2010, the DOL said, well, we're going to start to enforce it. So what that means is the Department of Labor is coming into these groups and auditing these groups so that the DOL knows if they have their required ERISA summary of plan descriptions. Many groups do not because it's just not been enforced. Some groups have Section 125. That doesn't necessarily mean that those summary of plan descriptions are up to date, first of all, or include all of the health and welfare benefits. So we partner heavily with PrimePay, as many of you know, and PrimePay is a TPA and a payroll company that does not write health insurance, so they don't compete against you. And they're coming out with an ERISA product next month. In the meantime, the need is there because audits are increasing. And we've contracted with Task for their ERISA Edge product. And what this product does is you can go in and sell this to groups of 2 to 49, and it protects them. It prepares all of the documents that are required, the WRAP documents, the ERISA compliant documents. They file the 5500 forms. They do a lot of things and keep your groups compliant. And it is a commissionable product that you can sell. And the pricing on this is for groups 2 to 49, it's a $200 setup fee and $700 annually. And the commission on that for you is 10% first year, and I believe, well, now I lost my mind. Doesn't surprise anybody, I'm sure. It is 10% first year and 5% renewals. So you can see that you get a few groups under your belt. It is another way to earn some revenue, but more importantly, you're protecting your groups against these audits, because if the DOL comes in and these forms are not in place, there's an automatic $4,000 fine, and then if they come back, or when they come back, they can fine $110 per day, per employee, per health and welfare benefit. So, again, you can see that the fines can be pretty substantial, and it's an easy sell and an easy opportunity for you to get in the door to talk to these groups about some of the other things, not only ERISA, but their renewals, the grandmothering, and to capture those people currently on Cobra. So I encourage you to reach out to me if you want some additional information, but also, go out there and see what you can do with those groups. Next on our list is other opportunities. Christy Saul next Thursday is having a lunch and learn, and it's on Colonial Life Lunch and Learn. So Colonial is going to come in and talk about their voluntary and employer-based ancillary products. This is really a growing trend, and we're really ramping up our offerings on the ancillary side, not only as new opportunities for our agent partners such as yourselves, but just because it lends itself very well to either individual or group health on the ACA model, because they do tend to have larger deductibles. So these ancillary programs really kind of fit within the ACA products for a number of reasons. Even if it's just that the employer is dissolving coverage and the employer still wants to offer a benefit, an employer-paid benefit. So again, there's a lot of opportunity there. If you want information on the Lunch and Learn, that's next Thursday on the 29th, then just get in touch with myself or Christy Saul. And also, Christy is having a webinar on June 11th at 2 p.m., and this is going to talk about what you can sell outside of the annual enrollment period, such as limited medical plans, short-term medical, and again, on the individual chassis, selling these ancillary products to kind of protect your clients from those larger deductibles. So they're commissionable products, and again, opportunities for you to sell things outside of the election period and to supply a product for those people that are calling and saying they missed the election period that don't have a qualifying event. Now on to some of the more frustrating news. So we're all sitting down, I hope, reporting FFM changes, changes in income, changes in family makeup. It was supposed to be pretty easy, but as we've come to expect, there's really nothing easy when you're dealing with healthcare.gov and plans sold on the federally facilitated marketplace. What happens is when there's a change, adding a new dependent, income change, address change, specifically you're supposed to go into log back into the FFM and update the marketplace app, your information, and that's supposed to be transmitted to the company, the insurance company that the person is insured with. Well, there seems to be a lag time, first of all, in notifying the carriers, and secondly, there seems to be a little bit of a discrepancy in some cases on what was supposed to take place, the change, and what is being relayed to the insurance company. So for any change that you have on the FFM, I would encourage you to reach out to your case manager and kind of run it by them so that we can keep track of it. And I would also say that, and also assist you, but I would also say that, any documentation that you have to affect that change on the FFM, send it to us as well. We can try to help you with that, and that way we kind of know what's going on with your cases and can help you if and when it goes bad. As far as next year's submission or even submissions as we move toward the next election period, we're working on a reporting, an Excel spreadsheet reporting, so that we can kind of be a little bit more proactive in making sure that your cases that you enrolled the previous week are showing up at the chosen insurance carrier and that you're hooked into that case. We have really no idea what to expect for 2014 enrollment, and we're now trying to recapture some of the cases that you, our agent partners, wrote that you're not getting credit for. So again, we're working on things to make reporting and commission payments a little bit less stressful next year, if you will. Speaking of commissions, they are, as we all know, there have been some issues, but they are filtering in. For those that have been waiting patiently for the Geisinger commissions, we did just get a data feed, and there are some 1/1 effective dates on there, finally. So that's good news, I think. They had some systems issues. They were changing their commission system in amongst all of this mess. And Highmark continues to have some issues with the commission payments. They're working manually through a couple of the cases, and when I say a couple, I mean hundreds of cases. They're working through manually that initially didn't have the county attached to them, so commissions couldn't be paid. So they're working through that. And there's a new issue where the subsidies are not being applied correctly or recorded correctly. So there are some issues in posting premium payments as well. So, again, we're working through all of these issues. If you have specific cases that you're looking for, again, I encourage you to reach out to your case manager or myself or Brandy Coleman, our commission specialist, and we'll try to resolve those for you, or at least let you know what to expect. I didn't have any submitted questions this week, so at this point I'm going to open it up to submitted questions through the GoToMeeting portal, and I do have a few. Abby says, is the grandmother group for non-ACA renewal only for small employers less than 50? And yes, thank you. That's a good point to make, Abby. It is for 2 to 50, and it is for non-ACA extension of the non-ACA plan. Sherry asks, if an individual gets a renewal from a carrier and it is high, can they look at another carrier, or are they locked out till open enrollment? And unfortunately, they're locked out until open enrollment. There's nothing, and there is one particular carrier that we don't represent that has just come out with well, they didn't participate in the exchange anyway, but they came out with a block rate increase, and it's pretty significant from what I hear, but there is nothing within the law that talks about affordability on the individual side. So having a non-ACA plan renew at a higher premium but still have a non-ACA plan offered, that's not a qualifying event. They're pretty much stuck. Again, it's not going to help them avoid the individual tax penalty by going to a short-term or a limited medical plan, but it may actually, for the right person, be a better fit than paying that incredibly high premium. Margie says, who gives out the ERISA summary to the group, and does it come from the broker? Well, that's always a good question, Margie, because it's always, what comes first, the chicken or the egg. But I can tell you that if you're working with groups and you're not talking to them about this new ERISA threat, then they probably would hold you responsible. Ultimately, it is the small business owner's responsibility to understand the ERISA rules and all of the, cause and effects of doing business in the state of Pennsylvania, or nationally for that matter. But if you're the broker, they're going to look to you. They're going to look to you for that advice, and I would hope that they could get it from you. But again, ultimately, it's the group's responsibility, the business owner. Mike says, will the group plans go the same way as individual plans and use a calendar year for plan effective dates and deductible resets? No. Only individual plans will start working on a calendar year basis starting with 2015. To my knowledge, there are no plans to make groups adhere to a calendar year plan year. Pardon me. Margie says, what is the penalty if the group does not have the ERISA plan summary? If they don't have the summary of plan documents for all of their health and welfare benefits, there is a $4,000 fine, and then there is $110 per employee per day per health benefit fine. So if you have a group of 5 people, they need a summary of plan documents that would incorporate vision, dental, health, anything that the employer pays for. That could be child care within their facility. So, it could be pretty substantial. And the plan designs, Margie asked where they come from, and they're really ERISA-specific documents. There's a number of vendors that offer them. Like I said, Prime Pay is offering them starting next month. Task is now offering them. Pardon me, and I'll send you that information, Margie. We're actually even looking into a program where we could create these documents for you. It's a plan builder. So, watch for more information on that. But bottom line, they come from a vendor that creates these forms. Sherry says, if someone did not sign up during open enrollment, are they locked out? Yes, they are locked out unless they have a qualifying event. And it says, can someone change plans with a carrier during a renewal with an individual plan, or do they have to wait until open enrollment? Well, I think what you're asking is if, for instance, we've all done Health America One business, and when they come up for renewal, say, for instance, a Health America One plan, a non-ACA Health America One plan comes up for renewal 8/1. If the only option for them is to go to an ACA product and not retain that non-ACA plan, then that's a qualifying event. They can choose any ACA product on or off exchange, not just specifically Health America. If they're currently enrolled in if they're currently enrolled in an ACA plan and they have a marriage or a dependent to add, at that time they can not only change their plans, but they can change carriers, because that's a qualifying event. But for somebody that just decides that they don't like their plan, they can't change that until open enrollment. Hope that makes sense. Pardon me. It looks like those are all of my submitted questions for today. I'll give a few more minutes if you want to type them in. Sean says, do you have an example of an ERISA plan document? And yes, I do. I can send that out to you as well. And just a reminder, next week our webinar is at 9:30, and again, it's Thursday the 29th. As always, I truly appreciate your business. I truly appreciate you all signing in every week, and it's a beautiful day. So again, hopefully you'll have a wonderful weekend and a wonderful Memorial holiday weekend, long weekend for all of us. So enjoy your time off with your family, and thank you for your business. Bye-bye.